Today, we are joined by real estate investor turned agent extraordinaire, Danni Migueis out of Waterloo Realty in Barrie.
For Barrie and area, we're up 23% for new listings, but down 27% in sales.
Wow. Okay, so a little bit more favorable for our buyers out here. Let's go.
It is. I think it's a little bit of a buyer's market right now for our area. As you can see, I mean, there's 830 listings to date. So they're staying on the market. I believe it's averaged out right now for about 2.5 months.
Okay.
Of time. They're predicting like Barrie is going to be the mini Toronto, and then Aurelia is going to be the next Barrie.
Now, before we let you go, can we get a 3 to 6 month prediction? What is Barrie and the surrounding markets going to be compared to now?
My prediction for the Barrie area, if we keep going with all these new listings and other areas and people needing to move or wanting to move or catching on, I think we're really going to
Welcome back to the Canadian Real Estate Channel, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Zack Brittain with Brittain Real Estate. Today, we are joined by real estate investor turned agent extraordinaire, Danni Migueis out of Waterloo Realty in Barrie. How are we today, Danni?
I am pretty good. How are you doing today, Zack?
I'm great. As somebody who's personally interested in the Barrie area, I'm super excited to learn more about you, your business, and your market. I know you got a presentation for us. But before we get into that, I've been following your Instagram for a while, and I would just like to encourage anybody that's watching the video, jump over to her Instagram and toss her a follow right now. Really just practical and real, like legit content. No cookie cutter, polished, really just real good, normal real estate content specific to her experience investing in Barrie. And if you aren't already following the Canadian Real Estate Channel, you got to subscribe to the YouTube channel right now before we get through the rest of the video. So, Danni, what are we going to be discussing today? Are we talking Barrie? Are we talking investing? What else?
So today we are going to be discussing some quick stats. I know some people are numbers people and others just like to hear how it is. So I have a few slides about what's happening in the Barrie end area. And then we are going to, I just wanted to showcase a little area outside of Barrie that for anybody looking to invest, wants a little bit more of a cash flow positive investment.
Okay.
To head out to this area that I'm going to be showcasing. And then just showing you one of my personal properties that I've purchased with a JV partner out in that area and how we did it. Just a very quick slide about numbers and then showcase how much I'm cash flowing on that particular property.
So we got whole market plus some of the smaller other areas around the big city of Barrie. We got an actual real deal. And I'm going to ask some questions about JV and cash flowing properties in your market. So I'm excited to get into it.
Awesome. Okay. Oh, let me just go back here. So this is just a quick, my information there, Danni at rebelrealty.ca if you need me. That is my personal Instagram page, danni.realestate. And then I also run the Rebel Barrie page. So it's just literally Rebel Barrie on Instagram, and you can find us all there. So this first statistic here is just from our local board that they put out. I love how they simplify everything for us. It makes it quite easy to see. So as you can see in Barrie, we had 162 units sold in October. We were down 27% from last October though.
So that was 27% fewer properties sold than compared to last year?
Yes.
Wow. That's still good volume though. I feel like that's a ton of property.
Right. And then so Simcoe County are next, which is all our surrounding area. So that's going to be your Essa, your Innisfil, Springwater. There was 341 units sold for October compared to last October, but we were down 30% from last year, 2021.
Okay. So decent volume, but total volume of, properties actually being sold is down.
Is down. Yep, just for our areas. I mean, it's kind of happening everywhere, so it's nothing that anyone should be too surprised about. Our average home sale price for Barrie hasn't gone down that much from last year, only 3.8%.
Year over year?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep. So we're holding steady for Barrie at 733,000. And then the areas that I'm more focused on, which I think has great opportunities for everybody, whether it be first-time home buyers or investors, is holding steady, the average price at 795,000. So these are like little pockets of areas that don't have much, but they're still selling for more than Barrie.
Okay. And when you say you see those as good opportunities, whether they're buying or selling their primary or maybe in investing, is that more so because for the price you're getting good enough locations, conditions,
Mm-hmm.
style of properties in exchange for
Yes,
that price?
property, land size. A lot of the areas that are surrounding Barrie are connected to the trail systems out this way. So you get a lot of like outdoor activists that want the trails. They want a snowmobile. Like we're huge surrounding
Yeah.
the Barrie area for that, right?
So
So
we don't
it's,
compromise lifestyle by moving out of a bigger city like Toronto or Barrie, but we also get all the amenities and we're close enough to everything. And there's actually stuff there to live.
yeah. So the one
Interesting.
area I'm going to highlight is Midland, and their structure is set up so much like Barrie. They've got the beautiful waterfront, but it's older, so it's a great opportunity to buy something there, maybe a little bit distressed, and for a lower price point, but you're still getting all the amenities of like a Barrie type city.
Very cool. Very cool.
So here at the bottom for Simcoe County in total, that's including Barrie and Simcoe County as a whole, we are down 35%, but we still sold 5,700 units.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty good for this market. So this next slide is just more of a broken down, and it is kind of hard to see if you're watching on your phone. But again, I'm repeating myself here, but these are just the stats showing you how many units were sold. I just wanted to highlight Midland is up. There's all these like little areas, like this area, Penetang is located right beside Midland.
Yeah.
And it is up this is from last month. So this isn't year over year.
Wow.
But last month, Penetang went up 25%.
So those 11 units that sold must have been some nice properties too, right?
Right?
A lot of people want to move out there for better value, it seems.
Mm-hmm. So those numbers are showing you that you can move outside, broaden your horizons a little bit, and still get a lot of bang for your buck.
Very cool. And so I know, like we touched on when we first started, you are active on social media for the brokerage and for yourself. If people want to get either these stats and your comments on it, best way to get in touch with you on that, send you an email or shoot you a message on Instagram?
Yep, either or. As you know,
Very
like
cool.
everybody else, we're on social media, phones all the time. It's not the greatest, but any way you can get a hold of me, Revel Barrie page as well. We put all our stats up there as well every month.
Yeah.
So this is just a bigger view so you guys can all see it. So this is our active listings as of October from year to date. So we were at 830 units compared to 398 of last year.
Wow. So way more inventory, right? Do you have inventory numbers as well?
Yeah, so I have them jotted down here, and then I have a little slide at the end that kind of show you everything we've discussed. But for Barrie and area, we're up 23% for new listings, but down 27% in sales. So we haven't sold as much.
Okay. But
we do have quite a few listings on the go. So this is where you could say it's now the buyers. The buyers are it's their time.
Okay. So maybe let me ask you this. If, you're working with buyers out there and let's say 2 years ago or even a full year ago, you're probably competing for most decent properties, right?
Yep.
Right. And so now and today, are you guaranteed to compete on every property or not as nearly as many?
Not nearly as many. I haven't heard of too many competitive offers happening in the Barrie area currently or within the last few months. Now is your opportunity to take your time. Get your numbers, get your pre-approval and all that done, of course, as you should anyhow. But now you have time to grab that coffee, get in the car, go for a drive, see 10 listings, think about it a little bit, and then go back and let your agent know, these are the two, I'd like to try on. What are the numbers?
Okay.
We can break it all down for you that way. And then you can put your offer in and still get your home inspection. Make sure you're
That was going to be my next question. So
Yes.
conditional offers too, we can get conditions on these now. Whereas I know 2 years ago, Barrie was like, you see it now, put an offer in now, no conditions or you're not going to get it.
1,000%. It was crazy market.
Wow. Okay. So a little bit more favorable for our buyers out here. Let's go.
It is. I think it's a little bit of a buyer's market right now for our area. As you can see, there's 830 listings to date from the beginning of this year to now that have been on the market. And our sales are down. So they're staying on the market. I believe it's averaged out right now for about 2.5 months.
Okay.
Time.
Well, on that note then, Danny, if you're selling a property, what are things that you're noticing about the listings that are actually selling as opposed to the ones that are sitting? Because there's obviously still people buying and selling properties successfully in Barrie. If you're working with your sellers, what are you kind of doing to make sure that they're positioning their listing to actually get a good accepted offer?
Yeah, so obviously as any point in time, you want your listing to look beautiful. We're going to do the whole declutter stage. We are going to be honest about the numbers, the timeline it's going to sit up there. We can't expect the sellers to want to sell in 2 weeks. Could happen depending on where it is for location and obviously the home style.
Yep.
But just being open and honest that, you're looking at the 30 to 90 day mark again. You're going to have people come in and put that offer in and their financing might not be approved at this point because of the interest rate change. Mm-hmm. So it's just all in the preparation of being ready, being honest, being knowledgeable about the home and the area. We do videos, all the fancy photography to make it look extra good. But I think it's just prioritizing the mindset that it could sell tomorrow, but we're looking at this kind of length.
Very cool. So, utilizing the same strategies during a seller's market, but just being more prepared and communicate well to make sure that the expectations match up with the current market conditions, right?
Yes.
Good advice. Yeah. Honesty is the best policy too.
It is. Now that we're transitioning and it's become more moderate of a balanced market for everybody, it's not that it's a full-on buyer's market, I would say at this point, but I think it's favorable towards them. I think the sellers also have to be ready for that criticism again. Before, you could list your house as is and somebody was buying it, but now you got to make sure it looks good consistently throughout the whole time it's listed, right?
Yeah.
And then this is Innisfil stats, which is the same. It's the active listings for year to date and the new listings, just because Innisfil is just before Barrie. It's also a big, well-known area for the people coming from the city because we have Friday Harbor, again, the waterfront. So for our year to date, we had 100 active listings versus 57 in 2021. Yeah, so I see your eyebrows going there. How is it over there in Waterloo? Are you guys feeling like new listings as well, or how is the market?
Waterloo Region's totally different. We can't get properties on market. There's not a lot of sellers bringing their properties to market. Our inventory is staying very low. Our volume of sales is lower. So this is really surprising. I'm shocked to see that there is only 57 properties on the market last October, and then there's only 100 now. I know Innisfil is not necessarily a huge city, but there's not still, even though like you said, you may be getting a little bit closer to a more balanced or even a buyer's market, still not there yet, right?
No. And then the new listings that came in October for year to date would have been 972 versus 850 from last year. And then this is the total sales activity. So this is where, we have all these new listings, but we are down in our sales for our area. So
so your total volume we're really just it seems like the last few months even is where you're starting to actually stack a little bit of inventory, whereas last year you had much larger volume, but your inventory was really low too. So they're just selling so quick. Whereas now you're starting to get a little bit more selection just kind of being available for your buyers out there.
Yep, exactly. So last year we had 54 versus 36 this October, and then for Barrie, and then Innisfil would have been 648 to 399 for Innisfil.
Wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Definitely a significant change, right? 250 less, almost 50% less, or almost 30% less in Innisfil, and 25 to 30% less volume in Barrie too. So they're really just starting to get a point where they're stacking, but it seems like there's still people out there buying, right?
Yeah, and you know what? Between Barrie and Innisfil, they're actually going to be nearly one in the same eventually.
Yeah.
There is so much new pre-construction happening. So I think in the next, 5 to 10 years, we'll see more of a balance as well, because there's going to be that much more product to purchase.
That makes sense. And maybe for people that aren't super familiar with the geography of it, if most people, and Barrie, since I've been in Ontario, has typically been a city a lot of people from the GTA will move out to. More affordable, different lifestyle, still can commute to the GTA if you're going to be working there. I'm assuming that's still quite common for people that are coming to Barrie, right?
Yep. So the GO train and the Link system is coming right through now, passing through Barrie. So it's very common with everybody moving from the GTA towards the north here in Barrie and Innisfil.
Yep.
They are really our driving force of home prices, inventory.
And the difference between, say, somebody who's like, I would prefer Innisfil versus Barrie. What's the difference between, let's say, commute time, purchase price, quality of property?
You know what? They're fairly similar. So commute time, Barrie or Innisfil is, depending on which area of Innisfil you're going to be picking to move to, you're either like right up against Bradford, which again is another mini city that has everything to get you to the GTA in no time, or you're to Barrie in 10 minutes. So it's very much similar. A lot of people used to go from Innisfil to Barrie for their shopping, for activities, but now Innisfil has everything that you need as well. And they also have Friday Harbor. Have you ever heard of Friday Harbor?
Yep. So
Friday Harbor has been a big add-on to Innisfil in the community and drawing attention to it. They do amazing activities every week. Like this community throws on something all the time. So families, people from the GTA, anyone can go visit and feel like you're at a resort.
Very cool. Very cool.
Okay, so this was my little slide here just to quickly break down everything we just discussed a little bit more simpler. So our home sales are down 27%, but our new listings are up to 23%. So our market is balancing a little bit here in the Barrie and Simcoe area. And then our benchmark prices were down 4.8%.
Okay.
So just to simplify it a little bit, I think it's a great little chart for everyone to easier
Good starting
to read.
Point for anybody that doesn't know anything about the Barrie and the markets in that area. Like general, this is a really good starting point. If you guys have specific questions about specific areas, neighborhoods, I know we're going to get into a specific area after this, but styles of properties, contact Danny directly. For the purpose of this video, we can't go through them all, but there are going to be trends and nuances and opportunity in different pockets at different times. And connecting with a local professional that is investing and working to buy and sell property for clients actively will help give you guys more insight into those specific opportunities and strategies. But good general information, like as somebody who doesn't know Barrie very well, but I like to understand it and monitor that market as it compares to ours. This is great.
Yeah, so I just quickly wanted to touch base quickly on that benchmark price there, because the 4.8 really doesn't do it justice as a whole. So for our detached homes in the Barrie area, we fell by 5%. So we're holding at 833.
Okay.
Our townhomes only went 0.5% down. Yeah, they're at 564 is the average benchmark price. And then our apartments and condos, which we are seeing a lot more new builds, as well as the older style in the downtown core, actually went up by 1.3%. And our average price is $535,000. So it's not far off from the townhouses.
Wow. And is that primarily because a lot of the condos that they're building are, your waterfront, premium location, brand spanking new?
You know what? We have a lot of brand new condos, but they're not mainly waterfront. A lot of these, like we have a couple construction, new pre-con builders in the area that have been here for years. And they were very smart about where they purchase land. And they've done a lot of the 3, 4, 5 leveled, almost like a townhouse style.
Yeah, like the complex style, right?
The complex styles.
Yeah.
And they price them right. And people are more interested in that, especially coming from the GTA, because you're getting quite a large unit. Yeah. For half the price.
I was just going to say, you can get a great 2-bedroom or even a 2+ den with 2-car parking and a storage locker for a fraction of what you would get anywhere in Toronto, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I think that's why that one has gone up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so my next slide here is what I've been discussing a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So I just wanted to pull this. Now, this is only from our local real estate board. I didn't pull TREB or the other surroundings, but this is for the Barrie board. So these are on here on the top slide there, on the top map. That's Midland and Penetang area. So those are all the homes that we consider legal or already been converted to a duplex or multi-residential homes currently on the market for under $700,000. So a lot of those are in the $400 to $550 range. And decent. Yes, I should have actually maybe pinned up some of the price points there. And then these two you have are the only two in Barrie listed under 700, but I do believe they're at the 650 to 700 mark.
So how long of a drive is it kind of from the Midland, Penetang to Barrie?
So you know what? It is a little bit of, it's not a crazy hike. It is a difference. So people that are moving to Barrie from the GTA are doing it to still get to the GTA via GO train or the Lynx bus. Aurelia, you can't really see it on my map, but it's near where my arrow is. It's down a little bit.
Yep.
That is going to be the next Barrie. So they're predicting like Barrie is going to be the mini Toronto, and then Aurelia is going to be the next Barrie. So
in those areas though, for Penetang and Midland specifically, there's enough, those towns and cities are big enough that they don't have to commute to an Aurelia or a Barrie for anything that they need or want.
Yeah, so the Penetang, you would go to Midland. That's where you would go.
Yeah, or Midland's got everything.
Yes. So Midland is growing rapidly. They have a beautiful waterfront. You can see this is all surrounding water. So a lot of the attraction from the GTA to Barrie is the waterfront. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants those high rises, those living near the water. And then you can continue all the way to Aurelia. They have a beautiful waterfront they're fixing up. Midland is doing the same. I just find that these little pockets for an investor or first-time home buyer are like, they shouldn't be overlooked.
Okay, and why do you say that? Just the opportunity for appreciation?
Yes, I think that you buy now, like if you can buy, I'm going to show you on the next slide something that we purchased in Aurelia. So these homes, imagine getting in a home at this point that's considered a legal duplex or multi-unit for $500,000. Yeah. Living in it, fixing up the basement or however you want to do it, having someone else help pay your mortgage down, even if it's not the whole thing. But then once this gets built up completely, like they fix up Midland, Penetang area in the next 5-10 years, how much are you going to turn around and what kind of profit are you going to make off that?
Yeah, and I know you're going to cover it on the next slide just for your example, but general rule of thumb, if you're picking up a duplex at 550 to 650 and there's already tenants in there, how much would you want to be getting for rent for something like that that's realistic?
So realistically, you're going to laugh at my next slide, but I would say, So Barrie, the market is crazy high for rental.
Yeah.
Price point. I read all the time on these different groups that people are talking about, and they're complaining that the rent is crazy high. So this is the opportunity to get better quality tenants by offering maybe not as high of a rent in the Barrie area, but still getting, I would say, minimum, like our main floor on the next slide is a 2-bedroom unit, and we are getting over $2,000 a month in Aurelia. So they're not bad. I mean, again, you're getting more bang for your buck as well as a renter, right? You're getting a whole main floor, 2 bedrooms, parking, possibly the garage, the use of the yard, and still having so much amenities around you.
Okay. So there's enough there for you to be confident as an investor, say, I know I can get quality tenants because it's the unit's going to be good enough, but also the location and the amenities that a good tenant's going to want and need. I can get that in those markets, but I'm paying less than I would in Barrie.
100%.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
So this is the one that we did. So typically how we started was buying multi-unit family residence and doing the BRRRR strategy. With this area, Aurelia and Midland, you're not looking, yes, they're available, and there are actually some great deals for larger investment properties. But with this, we decided to go with like a buy and hold. So we did minimal renovations to it. Actually, the previous owner did quite a bit to make it jazz it up a little bit. So we bought it for $452. We got a little creative and did our down payment at 5%. So we only had to do the $22,000. Our renovation.
How'd you get away with that down payment?
So this is where we did it with a JV partner. So this is a strategy where, their first time home buyer wanted to get into becoming an investor. So we did a little bit of teaching, a little bit of doing, and we all worked together. And now we have an amazing cash flowing of $1,000 a month on this property.
That's great.
Yeah, and with our renos, we did spend $25,000, but we did new floors, new kitchens, granite countertops, new appliances, like all stainless steel appliances. Our mortgage payment is roughly around $2,200. Property taxes are $1,600. But with this property, we don't pay anyone to maintain it. It's been going fairly smoothly. There's not too much to maintain. We have good tenants that, they'll shovel the snow or mow the lawn if they see that it's. So there's not a lot of maintenance on it. So our cash flowing of $1,000 a month.
You love to see it. That's awesome. And so these types of deals, is this like a unicorn deal? Are these like, if you're shopping actively, you could pick up something similar to this?
I would say so. In Aurelia, there's quite a few available right now similar to this. It's almost like the style of homes that were built in that area, where Midland is a lot more of the old century looking homes where you could convert to 2-3 units.
Very cool. Very cool. And you guys have experience doing that as well?
Yes, we do. Yep. We did that quite often in the Hamilton area.
Okay. Exact same model, same style of older century homes, right?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And for this property, you bought it as a legal duplex, or it was set up like a legal duplex and you had to go through the permitting process?
No, we purchased it as a legal duplex.
Awesome. And for a property like that, let's say, like you said, there's a couple of these on the market at any given time, or at least kind of close to it. Is there an opportunity to add an additional unit, either with an addition or maybe a tiny home? Because I know garden suites or tiny homes were a hot off and on topic in the Barrie and surrounding area, pretty much for the last year or so.
Yeah, I would definitely say you could. With these properties, your property land size is much larger. You have a larger scale when you're buying a home in the Aurelia area. They're not as like where Barrie, they're on top of each other. So this one, you would be able to, obviously you have to go through your whole process of town bylaws, permits. But I would definitely say there is opportunity to add an extra unit or a garden suite.
Interesting. Very interesting. Okay.
Okay. And so a little bit about Rebel quickly. Rebel always loves to leave our team meetings and gatherings on a positive note with a positive quote. So this is one that I found that, you know, anyone getting into investing or new to investing, we've had it in the past where someone approaches us and says, we want to do what you're doing. Here's my money. And then you try to explain to them, okay, it's not all, as you would say, unicorns and roses here. And they just expect to see results overnight, or they see a property like what I just showed you, which looks decent on the outside, but you're still going to have maintenance and issues and things that come up, tenants moving out where you're covering mortgages for months on end until you find that right tenant. So I just felt like this is a good one to read, hear, and know it's a long-term game. I mean, you can do the flips, and if it's not for you, obviously you sell, you make your money back. But this quote reads, it's not how much money you make, but how much money you keep, how hard it works for you, and how many generations you keep it for.
That is what it's about.
Right? We're doing it. I just actually did an article for the Buzz conference, and my whole 2-page feature was all about how that's what we're doing it for. We really want our kids to see the hard work that we've done. Neither of us came from a family of investors. We just decided to go for it one day, and it's just kind of continued to roll.
Well, I think you guys really found success, and honestly, success begets more success. And I think this quote's awesome and just kind of puts into perspective what you guys value as investors and as agents and as people. That's awesome and super applicable. Like, I am in full agreement with this.
I think so. I think, you just gotta, it's not about what you have right this second. It's your big picture thinking, your goals, you want that money to work for you. You don't want it just sitting there.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Awesome. Anything else to bring home the Barrie market? Any other information or any other stats that you want to share our way?
I don't really have much more other than it's an amazing city, and all the areas in and around it are there's some beautiful areas. So if you need me or want to move this way, give me a call.
That's awesome. So not only a great place to live, but also seems like there's investment opportunity now. And from what I know from the market and what I just learned, there's going to continually be new investment opportunity as your markets really grow and expand.
Yes, I would say so. I think that, for any market right now, we're in that it's going to take 3 years to level out, and it's going to take us 2 years to really shine again. So,
yeah, with any luck, we'll be a little bit quicker, but it could definitely take some time. Now, before we let you go, can we get a 3 to 6 month prediction? What is Barrie and the surrounding markets going to be compared to now? Are they going to be up? Are they going to be down? Are they going to be more competitive, less competitive? Maybe they're the exact same. I'd like to hear it from you.
So my prediction for the Barrie area, if we keep going with all these new listings and other areas and people needing to move or wanting to move or catching on, I think we're really going to balance ourselves out and hopefully keep those prices where they are. Like, we don't want homeowners to be dropping their prices every week, right? We as Barrie we're amazing. It's an amazing place to live, and we want people getting that top dollar. And the more people and the more listings that come, it's just going to showcase it. So I would say 3 to 6 months. We have one more interest rate hike, I believe, right? Come the new year.
At least one.
At least one. Hopefully just one, maybe not, but hopefully it would really that will be it, and then everyone can come out of their shells and stop being so hesitant and scared.
Yeah. I agree. I think once you get more clarity on the interest rate environment and how quickly Canada as an economy may rebound, then a lot of your people and clients that are on the fence and hesitating a little bit will have that certainty to really move forward with their game plan. But most importantly, they should be connecting with you to understand what their game plan should actually be. So, as somebody who has coaching experience, has investing experience, and now selling real estate full time, Danni is a wealth of knowledge for the strategy, and with a quote like that, just the mindset to get yourself started in the right direction. And now is able to actually help you guys purchase, sell, and invest in real estate firsthand. So connect with Danni on Instagram. You guys can follow her, danni.realestate, and then she's got her email address. We'll put all of the contact information in the description. And if you're not already following and subscribed to the Canadian Real Estate channel, Canadian REI on Instagram, and Canadian Real Estate channel, you're watching it right now. So you should be subscribed and click the bells for the notifications. We're going to be releasing new content like this every single month on other locations, other investors, and real estate agents just like Danni. So we'd love to see you guys back. And Danni, great first session with the Canadian Real Estate channel. We love having you on. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome, guys. Stay tuned. We'll see you next time.